What's up, witches? It's the Undercover Witch. I hope that you can hear me. But today, as you can see, I've done my setup a little bit different. Hopefully you'll be able to see all the cards that I pull. And let's go ahead and get started. So this reading is for you if your sun sign is in Aries. And if you're interested in any of the decks that I'm using, you can go ahead and look at my About section. I'll have them all listed there. But the main tarot that I want to point out is the Tarot of Dreams. It's what we're going to be using for our main pull. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is going to be for the entire month of, or the rest of the month of July. Normally I would do this the first week, but I was kind of just setting everything up a little bit differently. Moving the house around, doing errands, that sort of thing. So we're gonna run this into July and August. That way you're fully covered. Let's go ahead and place these down. So just to start off with, I have the 10 of Swords. It's a bit far off there, but the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Coins, Justice, the Palace of Coins, 8 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. So we're starting out with pain. Maybe like that mental torment or emotional torment. Because of that 2 of Cups, it would seem as if it has to do with your relationship. However, it looks to me more like you're coming into this relationship with a lot of pain. So that might be something to think about this week, because this first rose is this week. I run by week. Let's move these up a little bit. Keep pulling. We have the 10 of Coins and Justice. So 2 10s back to back. And also under that 10 of Coins, you have the Wheel, which is 10 as well. The Wheel of Fortune. So a lot of endings coming is what I see, especially with that Judgment up in that top right corner. Okay. So here is our tarot. If I do need any clarification, I have the vintage tarot that we'll pull here. And I have some oracle cards that we're going to pull as well. So real quickly, just to get a good gist of what's going on. So our oracle card for the first week is the Door to Spirit, which really, it's kind of telling me you're going through a bit of a spiritual awakening at the moment. So you might be feeling very, very intense energy that you are interpreting as your emotion or well-being. Like you may perceive it as danger or a sign of danger, when in reality it's just that energy shifting. Like I said, we have the 10 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Coins, and Justice. So you may have been in a relationship where there was a lot of unequal give and take in regards to finances. So that is one thing to consider if you have somebody who's trying to come back in, or you feel like you're just putting a lot of money into them. All of that stuff is going to balance out because we do have Justice here. So some of that is going to balance if you've been giving a lot into your relationship and you feel like it's just way too much, like you've been just giving so much and you don't know if it's going to give that return. With this Justice card, I'm really feeling that there's going to be a balance on that. So now, you know how they say a relationship's 50-50, and like, well, no, that's not true. Sometimes you're 80 and you're 20, or you're 60 and you're 40. It's going to be kind of like that. You've just been carrying that burden longer than expected. But now it's kind of your time to have that relief kind of just come off your shoulders a little bit. So it feels scary, it feels intense, but it's just because it's changing and it's a good change. The second week, we have the Door to Personal Healing and Happiness, and it is reversed. But we do have the Palace of Coins here, the 8 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune I mentioned before, and then the 5 of Wands. So these 2 weeks feel a little unrelated, I'm not gonna lie. So something is balancing out this week, but next week you're trying to figure out what it is that you want from your life. And it may be because that money is no longer an option. You know, like I said, it feels like you were really, really struggling and were kind of burdened with putting up a lot of money for this relationship. But I feel like coming into the second week, you're recovering and you're trying to figure out what you need to do. You're like, okay, you know what? I'm done suffering. I'm done not feeling good. I'm done. I've done my part. It's time to step up now that I have my resources. So I'm going to do that. So you're doing that with the 8 of Cups. And we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about like your path, your divine path, taking what comes, whether it's good or bad, and knowing that that's all a part of those natural cycles of life. But we have this 5 of Wands. So I feel like you're entering into a job or field that, like, whatever your passion is, there's a lot of conflict or competitiveness within it. So let's say, maybe you're putting up, you don't have to work as much, whatever. You want to go join like beauty pageants, or you want to be on YouTube. You want to go work in like a like as a scientist or something, like something like very, very competitive. Like there's only like a certain amount of jobs out there. Or, I don't even think it's a certain amount of jobs. I think it's more about attention. Like your whole point of your job is to be able to get attention. And so everybody's fighting each other instead of just taking their spot in the light. So you're going to be struggling with that. And that's how it seems to me that like you're venturing outside of yourself. So that's why that door to happiness, personal happiness, is upside down. You want to find more. You want to go beyond that. So the third week, we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. So your 7th chakra is going to be your crown chakra. So that has to do a lot with knowing, being able to know things, because it's what connects you to the divine consciousness. For that first week, we have Judgment, the King of Coins, the 2 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. So Judgment, I feel almost relates back to that Justice card, but not necessarily. I feel like this is a new judgment. I feel like you are going to walk into this new opportunity or this new field that you're interested in, and it's going to be different. Like you're going to be the one that's walking in and judging the situation, judging how everything is, and you have to decide whether you're going to join the fray or if you're going to, kind of create your own path and figure something else out. And with this King of Coins, I think that whoever you're in that relationship with or were in that relationship with, that they are actually going to help you out in this regard, because I think that conflict energy or the competitive energy is going to make you feel a little insecure about yourself. But this person that you're in this relationship with, they are actually going to like see the beauty in you, see what you're going through, and they in turn are going to like judge you. And in a good way, which is good, because you want that. You want judgment from other people, because that's how they decide if they're going to help you or if they're like looking for opportunities, and how they speak about you. And that creates opportunities for you. So you want people to have that judgment. So this person that cares about you, that loves you, is very endearing towards you, is having that judgment. And we have the 2 of Swords. So Libra, also there's like Libra energy in this card. And this is the only card that represents you. So if you have Libra in your chart, maybe Libra Moon, because it's a Libra Moon card, that this may be extra true in your emotions right now, but you feel a bit lost and conflicted, like, okay, like I'm here, but is this worth it? Is this worth what I, was doing? Because I feel like in a way you're doing this to get ahead. You're doing this because it's a passion, but you are like, if you just wanted to sit at home all day and just have your normal life, you'd be fine, right? It's something extra. It's a way that you're pushing yourself. And we have this 2 of Swords. So it almost seems like you're very, very worried, very concerned. You're not sure which route to go. Is there room for you in a competitive environment? And are you worth what the other people, like, are you equivalent? Are you equivalent? Are you worth it? Do you fit in? But we have this 5 of Swords here as well. This has an Aquarius energy to it, Mars. But this 5 of Swords, it's really giving me a like here take the torch vibe. Normally Five of Swords has more to do with conflict and victories as well. But I do think that this is saying, like, look, everybody else is fighting with this Five of Wands. You have this Five of Swords. Like, what you have is different. The energy you bring is different. So what these people need to realize is, you know, they may be all holding a torch, but all of them are doing different tricks, right? They're all doing something different. And if you can own up to what you're doing and how you do something, then that will put you like in the running. Like, there is space for you. There's space for each of these people who are doing the exact same thing. They just need to own the parts of them that are themselves, and not like look at what other people are doing. They just need to look at what they're doing. That way those ideas are original and they're unique. And the same with you. You're not even thinking in the same realm or box as them. So you can just take your ideas and just start implementing them, putting them to work. Go ahead and watch other people, learn what other people are doing, but don't forget what you have that makes you different. Last week we have is patience. And I do think this is in regards to that field. If you're wanting to see immediate results, it's going to take a second. But if you keep working on it a little bit every day, you don't realize how fast you can move forward. But we have temperance, and temperance is also about patience, but it's also about balance. So we have judgment, balance, judgment, temperance. It's all about balance. We have the Two of Wands, we have the Two of Swords. All of those things are about balance. So I think that now that you have your finances balanced out, you're starting to balance out the other sections of your life. And for the swords, let me back up one more time. The justice and your judgment really, really have to do with balancing that spiritual energy, that karmic energy. Your Two of Swords really has balanced your identity, balanced yourself. Then we have next is the Two of Wands. So it's like, okay, I've decided who I am and what I'm going to do, but now how am I going to approach this new journey? Am I going to take a fiery route, or am I going to take an airy route? Like, what door are you taking? And I really do like this depiction because if you look back at that Five of Wands versus Five of Swords, like, it matches those door colors. It really is like, are you going to join the fray with them and just start fighting over everything? Or are you going to take your own sword and battle your own way through this? We have the Ace of Wands. So I do see you picking up the torch per se. And then we have the Page of Coins. So I think right around the time where you decide, you know what, I'm passionate about this. I'm going to maybe not join like the arguments and fights and competition, but I'm going to join in this field. Right after that, we have the Page of Coins, which is going to be ideas about money. So possibly, if this is something that you're working on, this like a side hustle, you're going to be told how you can get money from doing this at the level you're at, which is good. And it's not necessarily if this was the Ace of Coins, then I'd be like, oh, you got a big opportunity. But it's the Page of Coins. So I'm going to say this is just ideas, 1. 2, but it's ideas you can easily implement. I just think that they're going to be like smaller ways. Like, it's not going to be like you're going to make $100 million off of YouTube right now. It's more like, oh, well, maybe, finally you get enough followers to get a Patreon, and you can start charging a little bit, like a few $100s, and make that back. Just something for your time. So we've pulled those cards. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a few archetype cards, see what kind of archetypes you're working through for this next month. And then we'll do your goals and an angel message. Okay. So we have the underworld. So you're just kind of, see, this actually is perfect, because kind of what I'm getting with this whole vibe is that you're leaving your comfort zone. You're leaving your comfort zone to find something better. So it's that hero's journey. And at this moment, you're in that underworld, which in the hero's journey is usually when they're fighting like the big monsters. They probably just died from something. And we had the Ten of Swords. So that was an ending, right? An emotional ending. So you allowed that part of you, that part that was in pain, to let go. So now you're in this underworld where you're like, okay, what's the next step? You're being reborn. So I love that that card came out. But I think that's the only archetype card I have for you. Let's go ahead and get a goal. I know how it looks, but just start. Nothing is insurmountable. So again, even though it's a very competitive field, even though you are starting off with this page of coins instead of like the ace of coins or something, it's just telling you how to start, pretty much, just giving you ideas. It doesn't mean that you cannot benefit from this journey that you're taking right now. So please keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and get an angel card for you. And we have, this is your life purpose. So whatever it is that you're working on is for you. It's not just a joke. It's not just something that you might want to do. Like, this is the thing. So go ahead, get started working on it, because if you don't start today, you're going to be 70 and trying to start at 70. Or, I mean, if you're 70 today, then what are you waiting for? Get going. You got to get going. Because, you know, and especially, like, generally, my audience is around their late 30s to 50s, early 50s. So, you know, around those ages is the perfect time to really get serious about what you want, because you've learned lessons from your past. You've learned what not to do. You have more resources. So especially with our generations where we're having kids later, or not having kids at all, you might just have enough time to do everything. And if you do have kids, you know, and it's a little bit later, then you can bring them along for the journey. So there's a lot that you can do right now to get you where you want to be. I just dropped something. I'm so sorry. So real quick, very last thing that we're going to do today, Aries, is we're going to do our yes or no coin. So go ahead, think about all we talked about, take it in for a second. Think of a yes or no question, and I'm going to give us a yes or no. 1, 2, 3. First answer is yes, and let's go ahead. We're going to pull a card on it. So I have the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Chalices. So you're a bit closed off emotionally at the moment. You're trying to be wise about your decisions, but I think that there is somebody coming in, whether it's a friend or somebody from your past, that has something to tell you, maybe an apology or something to say to you. So if you're asking about somebody coming in, the answer is yes. Let's go ahead and do a second question. 1, 2, 3. It's also a yes. We have the Nine of Swords, Justice, and the Knave of Swords. So I feel like that you have a lot of questions about this person coming in. So on one side, they're very emotional. They seem very apologetic on the surface, but you know them as something different, and you want justice to be enacted, and that is completely understandable. I think the universe is already working on it, so it's not something that you have to worry about, but just be cautious when they do come in. Last question. 1, 2, 3. And that is also a yes. Shake the whole table, sorry. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands. So if you're going on a big journey, if you're having a big life event, and it looks like you are, the Three of Wands really puts everything into perspective. It shows us the entire world. It shows us what we're capable of. It gives us the big picture so that we can dream and manifest. But, you know, you have to know that this is, even though you can see everything right now, you get the big picture right now, everything's going to shrink, and you're going to be small again when you start working on everything, because you kind of zoom out to see everything like a puzzle piece, like putting together a puzzle. You look at the box and then you start working on the pieces. So too big, like end the goal right now. Two big differences. So don't let that difference in that picture disrupt your work or make you feel like you're not making progress. But that is everything. I hope that this helped you, Aries, and I hope you have a great week. Next week, we're going to be doing your moon sign for the month of July through August, so stay tuned for that. Hope you'll have